Future Wacky here. I'm trying to record this on my phone because my mic doesn't really pick up my high-pitched voice that well sometimes. And, sorry if you can hear my fish tank in the background. It needs to be topped off a little bit. It's not too bad though. That's it. Bye-bye.
Wacky. This is my first ever video on the YouTube. Today I wanted to talk about how I design characters. I'm gonna put a disclaimer here real quick. I am not like a master character designer. I don't sell like a million adopts a day. I've sold adopts in the past, back in amino days, but it's been a very long time. I'm just getting back into it. But I wanted to talk about my process a little bit, what I do, how I have fun with it, and yeah. So my first step is I go to Pinterest and I try to look at only real photos of like real life things. Um, um, if you want to look at that, you just kind of look up animals. Like if I want to look up like I don't know what species I want to draw, I'll go on Pinterest and I'll look up animals and I'll just scroll through the pictures of the animals. Like I see an animal, like, ooh, that sticks out to me. I want that type of animal. Then I'll look up that specific type of animal and I'll find a good image that shows off like the animal's features and stuff like that. And I'll make a mood board and I'll put that in the middle of my board. Then I'll think about a theme, or I'll scroll on Pinterest some more until I find something that sticks out to me. And I'll find thematic images that either cover color palette or the general vibe of the character, or they have certain accessories that you want to base like accessories of your character off of, or just any inspiration like for anything. And you'll take that, you'll put it in a photo editor. I personally use Pixar. I know it's not the best and they have a bunch of nasty stuff on there, but um I just used basic functions of it. I put the images in the square and I'm done. You can do this in your drawing app too, but I just find it easier to use PixArt because it compresses the image a little bit afterwards and stuff like that. So it just seems faster. Um, but that might just be me stuck in that process. But that's besides the point. Okay, so next, you'll take your you'll take your mood board and you'll import it into your drawing application of choice. I use Clip Studio Paint on the iPad. I did use it on PC for a while, but I do not have that drawing tablet anymore. Just have the iPad. So I do that. You can use Procreate too. That's perfectly fine. Procreate's a good application. It's just not for me. I don't like how getting brushes works, and there's a lot of AI brushes. Clip Studio doesn't seem to have that problem in my experience because there's the moderated shop. So it's like, they kind of like not vet things, but like they just check on it sometimes. If they see something that sticks out that's weird, they take it down. So, that's why I like Clip Studio. But so like I'll go into Clip Studio and I'll open a new canvas. Typically I make it 2000 by 2000. I just want a square image that is high resolution so I can have a higher quality image. And I'll start with a sketch. I use my line art brush as my sketch brush, or I will use the Memo pencil tool. I don't remember the name of my line art brush, but I'll put it up on the screen in a second. And this brush is really good because it does like a little bit of a darker aura around it. It's not super obvious, but I think it makes it look really nice, and the texture of the brush is really good. So I like this brush a lot, and I use that. So the next step you want to go to is your line art phase. Do you want to have hair in the line art, or do you want to make the hair separate? That is up to you. You don't even need hair to begin with, especially if you're doing like a furry character that doesn't really need to be hair. And that's what this tutorial kind of specializes in is furries because that's what I draw. And so, um, you'll do that. You'll draw the base of the character. I would personally go for a more relaxed pose that isn't super dynamic. You want a little bit of something to like, spice it up, catch people's attention, but you don't want like a super dynamic pose that looks really cool because you're not gonna be able to get all the features of the character. It's gonna be a lot harder to display every feature of the character design in a super dynamic pose. And so then you'll finish your line art after you know, whatever. I guess I skipped a part, went back, but it's fine. Um, but then you'll make either use the select tool to select the outside of your line art and then invert it and then color it in that way. But if you have gaps in your line art like I do sometimes, you'll want to take you'll want to take a brush or the lasso fill tool and just draw all underneath the line art, color it in on a base color. Sometimes I use gray, sometimes I use the base color of the character, just depends on my mood. And then you'll do a clipping mask for your design pattern, fur pattern, or something like that, or tattoos, stuff like that is going to be on a separate mask. And typically, I want to separate every individual type of pattern in one layer in case I want to liquefy it, or if I want to, change the color of it. It's a lot easier to do that with a filter tool if it's on a separate layer without affecting every single color ever that's on the canvas. So I do that. You can merge everything down eventually. I typically do that. But for now, we won't merge anything yet until we're done. So we'll do that. And at this point, after you finish all your little design pieces, the little flares, you'll want to take your liner, you can put everything in a folder or you can merge it down and have one image that you can move around. And then you can take clothes and put the clothes on it. I mean, you could do the clothes in the original line art, but I find it easier to have the main character nude base down and then add clothes later because you can take it off, you can change it. It's a lot easier to see the actual fur pattern on the character that way. And I think it streamlines the process a little bit. And not every reference sheet needs to be front and back. If you have a lot of back designs, you will probably want to do front and back. But if your character is generally just something pretty simple, you can just draw the top half torso and part of the back and just show oh, this is the back design. This is the back of their arms. They have this tattoo on the back. And just put that on the side. And that works wonderfully. It saves you a lot of time and you don't have to take your original line art, edit it, flip it, do all this stuff that takes forever. You can just make a whole new little doodle and have it on there. It doesn't have to be beautiful. I mean, if you want it to be beautiful, you can. That's up to you. But after that, you're pretty much done. I like to make a little background on the reference sheet that is similar colors to what you're using or your theme. And then you kind of either desaturated, change the contrast, change the brightness on there, or you add a noise filter. All those things combined together, great. Um, and then, and then you'll take that and you're done. You just slap your logo on there, or whatever text you want to put on there. Just put some text like, "This is mine. Do not use," and throw it on Instagram, and you're done. Or you don't even have to throw it on Instagram. Keep it to yourself. It's whatever you want to do. And I think it's really fun, and I think everyone should try it from time to time. You don't have to be a super great artist to make a good design. You can make a good design without having good proportions because I think generally a design is universal as long as you just have a little bit of something going on and just throw the colors on where you want to have them in the pattern. That works too. It just works. And you can say someone's a really beginner level artist and they make this character that's pretty intricate. But as long as you can still see everything clearly, then I can transfer over to a different artist who's a much higher skill level. They draw it super high level, and it still looks great. It's still the same identifiable character because you made character design be clear and readable. And I think that's important. Don't add shading. That's my number one. Don't. You can have a shaded version on the side. That is the exception, in my opinion. How I would do it. Um, But typically, I would say you have a non-clothed version, clothed version next to it, and if you want a shaded version, you don't really need it because I mean the shading's for a typical full scale illustration. It's not really meant for the reference sheet. Um, and I think that's it. I'm gonna have to edit this a lot because I kept forgetting what I was talking about. I'm staring at a picture of a cat right now with a space background. It's really distracting, but it's really cool. So I'm gonna leave that part in here. Y'all have a wonderful day and thank you for my video. Bye bye.